We can go live, oh.
It's live. Stop spoiling the video. Hello, Martha, can you hear me? Hello, Martha. Okay, hello, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me from the chat. Hello, Martha, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you, Gabriel.
Yeah, you can get started, please.
Hi, Gabriel. Can you hear me?
Hello, Martha, I can hear you. Please get started. Thank you. Can you hear me? Let me
Okay.
know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. All right, Judith can hear me. Okay, so welcome everyone to today's session. I am so excited. I don't know, I really feel very excited about this whole session. Majorly because I know that lives will be changed from this session and it's going to be an experience. So if you can hear me, please just tell us in one word what your expectations are for this session, in one or two words, in one sentence. Just tell us, what are you expecting from this session? Are the messages coming in? Those just joining us, you're welcome. We said, tell us in one word what your expectations are for this session. One word, two words, in one sentence. Judith, you're on this session. You can hear me. Judith, tell me one word what your expectations are. Please tell us also where you're joining us from. Transformation. Tell us where you're joining us from. Are you joining us from Nigeria? Are you joining us from Abuja, from Lagos, Nigeria, from Kaduna State, from Kano? Just tell us where you're joining us from. And you're so welcome. We're glad to have you here. I've seen transformation, insights. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Okay, I've seen knowledge. Someone is joining us from Lagos, Nigeria, joining us from Abuja. And Treasure's expectation is to be able to engage audiences. Keleshi's expectation is effective communication. That is amazing. It is our own desire also that all your expectations are met in this session as much as we can go and as much as we can do. All the people joining us from Abuja, from Lagos, you're so welcome. We welcome you to this session today. Okay, so we're going to dive into the training straight so that we don't take much of your time because we are time conscious people. So today we are here to discuss how we can master the act of public speaking. And I want you to meet myself. I am Martha Eginiwin. Yes, just a quick one while the session is on. Just a reminder for you. Feel free to drop your questions as the session is going on. Just drop your questions, and we will attend to all of them at the end of the session. Then also, this particular session, I'm going to take you through from introduction to public speaking, why and how you're speaking, how you can engage your audience, how you can own your stage and also own your voice. So that is two powerful things in common. I am Martha Eginiwin. I am a development practitioner. I am a youth expert, education advocate. I'm also a project manager and a leadership consultant. So for myself, I use human capital development programs, project management, consultancy, community development work, and all to help individuals like yourself and also organizations to reach their full potential and achieve all their goals. So that is what I do. And please keep your introduction coming in if you're just joining us. So what is public speaking? Most of us, we're already doing public speaking. Is either we get to talk in church, is either we are talking to our colleagues, is either we are being assigned a duty at work, is either we are talking to students in the classroom. At some point or another, some of us have been doing public speaking. But the question is, how long have you known that this is public speaking I am doing, and I have to do it intentionally? I have to be conscious of it. I have to know that these are the do's, these are what I can do, these are what I should not do when I am talking to public. So those are some of the things we are discussing tonight. Yes, if you're joining us from Nigeria, it's already night in Nigeria. Those are some of the things we are discussing today. So public speaking is a process of communicating information to a live audience in a way that either informs, persuades, and entertains or educates. If you can see my screen so well, you see some words there are put in red. That is to spotlight them for you. So public speaking is a process. Process is like the different steps you take to do something. So those different steps we're telling you now that public speaking is not just a one-off thing. It is a process of you doing something. And so another word highlighted there also is audience. Audience, not just audience, live audience. When it is just when you're not talking to a live audience, it is no longer public speaking. But once it's public speaking, it means you're talking to a live audience. You're talking to people that can engage, people that have the sense of feeling, the sense of hearing you, and the sense of even getting to understand what you are saying. Then also it says in a way that informs, persuades, and entertains or educates. So when you are speaking to people, you have different reasons why you are speaking. You are either speaking to inform them, to persuade them about something. Informing them can also be you also educating them about something, or you are speaking to entertain them. If you're a comedian, if you're a skit maker, and you're putting that content out there, you're definitely putting it out to entertain the people watching them. So that is what public speaking is. And so we go into the elements of public speaking. Elements of public speaking. There are 5 elements that we have here for public speaking, and one of them is the communicator. I am currently doing public speaking, talking to you because I have live audience here listening to me. And me that is doing this training at this moment, I am the communicator. So you that is at any point talking to the people, you that is delivering the message, you are the communicator at that point. And then the second element is the message. What you are saying, what you're communicating, the information you are passing to the people. That is the message. And then we have the medium. The medium is how you are passing the message. Are you doing spoken words? Are you just presenting a speech? What exactly are you doing? How are you passing the message? Remember that public speaking has to do with live audience. So it obviously means that it has to be verbal communication. So the medium is how are you doing it? And then we have the audience, like you that is listening to me now, you have my audience, the people that are listening to you, whether they are individuals, whether they are in groups, they are your audience. And also the effects, what you are saying, what is the impact, what is the response? Like I asked at the beginning, where are you joining us from? What's your expectation? And you were giving a response. So that is like the response you were giving me. That's the effect of what I communicated to you. So all of these elements work hand in hand to ensure that it is public speaking. Now we go deeper to know, who are you speaking to? Who are you speaking to? Because it's very important in deciding how you should engage them. So who are you speaking to? And there are different categories of people you can be talking to. You can either be a teenage leader in church, maybe a church leader, and you're talking to children, you're talking to youths, you're talking to young people, or you're talking to business professionals in the workplace, or you're talking to conference attendees. Maybe you are invited as a guest speaker in a conference, or you're even talking to the government. If you're working as a business person, as a social impact person, and you need to engage the government, you can't be talking to the government and then you're talking to shareholders, stakeholders. Are you a business person? Do you have shareholders in your business? Do you have board meetings where you need to be the one to present what is going on in the company? Are you talking to clients? Are you talking to employers? Are you even talking to rural community members? Or you're talking to people in the academic environments like professors, lecturers, and all, or even a social media community. For social media community, that is as good as you're a content creator and you're putting out content that people can see. So any of this category of people you are talking to determines how you will engage the people, because the way you would talk to professionals or business people is different from the way you would talk to a teenager in church. Is different from the way you talk to government officials. Is different from the way you even talk to your clients. So you must be conscious of who you are talking to once it's public speaking. So that also helps you to know why and how are you going to speak. Now you know who you are talking to. Why are you talking to them? And how are you talking to them? How are you going to talk to them? And that brings us to, from the definition, we saw different reasons why we might be doing public speaking. And so that brings us to know, oh, are you speaking to inform them? Are you speaking to persuade them? And I also put the different techniques you can use depending on why exactly you are speaking. If you're speaking to inform people, you can use visuals, you can use case studies, you can use real life examples, you can use your own story. You have to use simple language that they can understand. It's like explaining a particular subject to someone and you're using a very broad, a very big language. They will not understand you. So those are things that pertains when it comes to public speaking. Information is also as good as you educating them. So if you're educating someone, once it comes to public speaking, they have to understand what you are saying. And then, are you speaking to persuade? Persuade, most times we can use, let's use politicians, for example. Most times they come to tell us, vote for me, vote for me, vote for me. And they're trying to persuade us to want to take action. They're trying to persuade us to want to know that, oh, they are the right choice for us and all. So are you speaking to persuade people to do something? Are you coming out for a position and you're giving a manifesto? You're trying to persuade them to know why you are the best candidate for that position at that time. Or are you even speaking to entertain? Are you giving a spoken word that is entertaining, that is for comedy? Are you a comedian? Or you're speaking to drive action. Speaking to drive action by mean that you're telling you're trying to explain to them a particular problem, and at the end you want all of them. Let's use a fundraising event for example. You've told them the cost of the problem, and then you want them to come out and donate at that moment or fundraise at that moment. So how are you going to do that? It means you need to use motivational languages. You need to inspire them. You need to tell them how they can come and give and why they should even come and give you. You need to use statistics. You need to tell them the story behind what you are doing. If people must take action for what you are doing, if people must take action for whatever you are saying, it means you have to be able to convince them. And then, are you speaking to just demonstrate something? Let's say you're teaching young people and you're trying to do a classwork or a case study and you have to demonstrate. Maybe you're using your hands to demonstrate something, you're using your body to demonstrate something, all of that. Which of them are you doing? So why you are speaking determines how you're going to do it. So you must be conscious whenever you are called to, oh, you have to come and speak to us, come and speak to our young people, to speak to our teenagers. You must ask the question, why am I speaking to them? What is the purpose of my speaking to them? So you're not just doing anything, but you know why you are speaking, and that helps you to know how you should speak to them. And then that brings us to say that this is actually like from the Bible, where it says, if with your tongue you utter speech that is not intelligible, how will anyone know what is said? For you will be speaking into air. And this is from First Corinthians. Explaining this means that if you don't keep to all these things, knowing why you are speaking, if you do not use visuals when you are speaking, when you're speaking to inform people, and you don't take it upon yourself to use slides like I'm using now to demonstrate what you are saying, or you don't take it upon yourself to use real life examples that they can relate to. Sometimes you can be talking to air and nobody is listening to you. And it is not their fault, but it is your fault because you did not pay attention to the category of people you are speaking to and why you are speaking, to help you know how you should speak to them. If you're following what I'm saying, you can drop a comment. You can drop a comment so I will know we are together here. You can drop a comment, tell me how far it has gone for you. Just use one word and tell me what you've learned so far. You can drop a comment while we continue with the session. Inform, persuade, entertain, or educate people. If people must take action, you must be able to convince them to engage. Yes, keep it coming. Educative. Thank you very much, Kelechi. Okay, while you keep it coming, we're going to continue. And that brings us to know, why do you want to remain in your own shell or cupboard when you have all it takes to be on stage? That's my question. You know, a lot of times people will feel like, oh, public speaking is not for me, or oh, this is not my thing. I am not meant for the stage. I prefer to work in the background. I prefer not to be seen. I prefer that I should just be behind the laptop. The fact is, if you were doing great work, whether you are a business person, whether you're working in the social impact space, whether you are working with the government, whatever sector you are working in, once you're doing anything great, anything impactful, it is necessary that you learn public speaking. It is necessary that you are in front. It is necessary that you are on the stages. You don't leave it for just other people and say it's not your thing. It has to be your thing. It has to be part of you. You don't have to always be inside when everyone is outside just because you are scared to talk. And that's why we don't want you to remain scared again. And that's why we are doing this training actually. And some of the reasons why people are actually scared to talk in public, common reasons why people are scared. If you ask some people, why are you scared to talk? Some will just tell you, oh, I might just fail, I might just flop, or I don't have that boldness, I don't have that confidence. Maybe they've even done it before and they flopped and they'd be like, oh, I don't want to do it again. The last time I did it, it was a disaster, and so I don't want to do it again. Or sometimes some people are even overthinking. They are overthinkers that feel like, I will not be good enough. My voice is too tiny. People will not hear me. People will laugh at my voice. Some of the best public speakers we have today in the world, they did not just start and become the best from day one. They had series of trainings. They had series of practice. They knew that overthinking whatever limitation they had was not the best solution. And so they had to start doing it. So you don't have to be overthinking if you are good enough or if you're not good enough. You just have to speak. If you do not speak, you will not even know if you're good enough or if you're making progress. And some common reasons also that some people give is past experience. If they've gone on stage before and they did not do well, they don't want to forgive themselves and go again. They just feel like, oh, it will be like the last time, so there is no need going again. And then some people is knowledge. They are in a company dinner or an event is going on or there's a gathering, and then your company might tell you, oh, go up stage, take up the mic and give the closing remark, or your boss cannot be at that event and you are to represent, and you now be like, oh, I don't have knowledge of this thing, that's why I don't want to do it, and you start looking for who you can tell to stand in for you. For some other people, it's perfectionism. It has to be perfect. It has to be like this person. If it's not the same way like this person is speaking, I cannot do it. But that is actually wrong, because that person must have gone through series of training to have become who they are. So you cannot always be thinking of how to make it perfect from the very first time. And then to some people, it's also uncertainty or unfamiliarity. They feel like, oh, I'm not certain what will happen there. I'm not certain how many people will come for the event. I'm not certain if the president will be there. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the people, and I will not be comfortable. They are not my age mates. Just series of excuses. And lack of preparation also is one thing that makes people not want to speak in public once they are not prepared. Even if you tell them days before, weeks before, months before, once they are not prepared and that day comes, they might start saying, oh, I'm sick. My legs are aching. My throat, something happens to me, and so I might not be able to speak. My hands are paining me. Just one thing or another, just because they are not prepared to speak at that time. Why for some people is over consciousness. They are too conscious of, I don't have the best clothes to wear. I might not be able to do this because, oh, everybody will be looking at me. It's an audience of over 1,000 people. All eyes will be on me. I don't have the clothes to wear. I don't have the earrings to wear. I don't have the jewelries. I don't have the flashy things. That is not why you are going to speak. Remember, some of the most important things are your why, your who, and your how. And then to some people, it's imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. I'm not good enough. At some point, even me that's talking to you today, at some point, most of us in our life, we have worn this shoe of, oh, I'm not yet there. I'm not yet there. I'm not good enough. I think this one should slide. My time will come. This is your time. Every single opportunity you get to speak is your time to speak. Every single time people invite you to come and speak is your time to speak. You don't have to give any of these excuses. You can't be on this call today and after today, you are still giving these excuses. No, it is your time every single time you get an opportunity to speak. Remember, nobody owns your own stage. You own your stage by yourself. You own your voice. You are in charge of your voice. So once you are on stage, it's like being the MC of an event. You see MCs of event, they can tell you stand, sit, stand, sit. That's because they are owning the event, they are owning the stage. They know they are in charge at that moment. They are in charge of the mic. They are in charge to give instructions at that time. They have taken authority of their stage. So that is how you should always wire yourself and have the mindset of, I'm called to speak. I own the stage. I own my voice. And so even if my voice is tiny, I have the authority to tell them I need a mic. You have the authority to tell them, oh, I cannot strain my voice for the best output. We need to get a mic. And you're not just shying away and say, oh, I don't want to come out because My voice is tiny. So that's not you, please. And then yes, so please keep your thoughts coming in. Keep your thoughts coming in. I really like, I'm going back to this slide because I would like some of us to tell me which one of these have you experienced, which one of these has made you shy away from wanting to speak at any point where you've had opportunity. Which one of these one have you been in a position where you felt like you're not good enough or you're not prepared for it? Please go ahead and tell us. Let's make this interesting. Let's converse. Just tell us, just put it in the chat box, like which one you overthinking? Did you have a bad experience? Or you did not prepare well? Is it my message or the messages are not coming in? You're not sharing your thoughts with us. Just tell us. Or you are shy. Okay, they are coming in now. Somebody said, let me go back to that slide that has all of them. Okay, somebody said perfectionism. Somebody said lack of preparation. Listen said past experience. Kaleshi is perfectionism. Uchechukwu is lack of preparation. Interesting. And I'm glad you're hearing all of this today so that you know that it does not have to be perfect. You have to prepare for every opportunity you're given, because that opportunity, you might not get it again. And somebody said, Millicent said, past experience. You don't have to dwell in the past. Immediately a day is over, all the mistakes, all the problems of that day, just let them go for that day and move on to the next day, to pick the lessons and move on to that. Somebody said, lack of confidence. Judith said lack of confidence. Lack of confidence. Yes, that one is so common. You're not wearing that shoe alone, Judith, believe me. It's so common because sometimes you just feel like, oh, these people, yeah, they are bigger than me. What am I going to say that they will listen to me? But the fact is, nobody lacks something upstairs. That's how I like saying it. Nobody lacks something upstairs. So it is you being able to put your thoughts together and put that thing that is running in your head. Sometimes, just like dancers, they say some people they like just staying on seats and dancing. They are good dancers when they are on their seats. It's also the same for some speakers. We are good speakers in our brain, but open your mouth and say that thing in your head becomes a problem because you don't even have the confidence to say it. And when somebody says it, you will not be like, I wanted to say this thing. Or you'll be like, I have more to say than even what this person is saying. Do not always be at the back seat, or do not let your light not shine at every point it is supposed to shine, just because you lack confidence to let it just shine for everybody to see. Okay, thank you for. Okay, somebody said, Antonia said, I'm not there yet, syndrome. Okay, Rita said, lack of confidence, perfectionism, lacking of words to express myself well. That's one. Okay, yes, so I think we've treated some of these things. If you lack confidence, you have to know that. And when people call you to come and speak, you should know also that they trust you to do that. That's why you are called. So you should first of all give yourself some accolade. I was called to come and speak. That means I have something up there. That means there's something these people are seeing that I'm not seeing. So you need to unravel that thing. You need to bring out that thing they are seeing that you are not seeing. And for the part of lack of words too, express yourself. I don't think you should ever lack words to express yourself when you prepare. So I'm going to, that's why I'm going to treat that now on this particular thing. When I said things to note for your next public speaking engagement, I'm going to treat that concern of yours, Rita. So things to note for your next public speaking engagements, we have before, during, and after. So before your engagement, now that you know you're going to speak to the youth department in church on Sunday, now that you know that on Monday you're going to do a presentation at work, now that you know that because you've always been positioning as a leader, or people have perceived you as a leader, they have invited you to come and to come and speak, and they have put you even in their flyers, and you've gone to check the profile of other people on that same flyer, and you feel like, wow, I'm speaking with all these people, and you want to shy away because you feel like all those people, they are far above you, or they've gone so far in their career. Now that you know all of that, these are things that you need to do so that you won't be in that position again. Yes, Rita, that's why you have, these are things that you can do that can get you out of there. So before you go for any speaking engagement, the advice is that you don't even wait to have a speaking engagement. You have to be ever ready. If you're doing business, you should be ever ready to sell. What if you get an opportunity to meet somebody that can just change your life? They say, what if you get that? There's always a popular analogy. What if you get into the elevator with maybe a Dangote, one of the billionaires, and they give you the opportunity and ask you, oh, what do you do? How can we work together? What will you say? Will you just lose that opportunity because you did not prepare yourself before time? So before your speaking engagement, let's assume that you have a speaking engagement. You already know that you are speaking somewhere next month. You need to know your audience. You need to ask questions. They shouldn't just call you to come and speak and you are excited, and so you forget to ask the necessary questions. You need to ask them, who am I talking to? What's their age range? What's their career level? Are they learned people? Are they people with little or no education? So you're not going to talk to people that don't even have pre-primary or primary education, and you're speaking a lot of English or a lot of grammar, and that means you're not communicating. Or you're going to talk to people that don't even hear English. You should ask, if you are called, do they understand English? Let's say you're going to, they call you to come and engage, maybe empowerment for women. The women, do they understand English? Will they hear me when I speak? Or do we need to get a translator? Before, also, you need to define and structure and prepare your message. Now you know you are speaking. Now you know who you are speaking to. So what are you going to say? Let's say they give you a topic. If they give you a topic, it is time for you to define, structure, and prepare your message. Define your message just the same way you are writing an essay, and you have to have and you need to have introduction, the body, and then the conclusion. That is the same way. Define your message. Never just go to speak to people and you are coming from down, up, middle, anywhere. So there is no flow. No, if you're telling a story, let it be that the story you're telling it from 1996, and then you progress to how far you went in 2001, 2007, and now to 2023. Not that you're telling a story and you're just coming from 2007, and then you go back again 1996, and then you go back again 2001. There is no structure in that kind of message. So you must define your message. Another thing you must do before is that you must practice. Practice and practice. I had to emphasize this. That's why it's true there. You need to practice. Before I came for this presentation, I had practiced. The best speakers still practice. So do not say that, oh, I can do it. I have it in my head. I can just say it the way it is in my head. That is not how it is in public speaking. You would just mess yourself up. You need to practice. Practice. Even if it is 2 minutes you are addressing people, if you are not used to it, you must practice. And then prepare materials, props, activities for engagement. So it is necessary that when you're speaking to people, remember we talk about different categories of people you can speak to, and we also talk about how you can engage them. We said you can use visuals, you can use slides, you can use materials. The same way that in between I am cutting in to say, oh, give me your feedback. That is also an engagement technique. And that is something you need to prepare. How do I engage these people? If it's young people, if it's teenagers, you can't go and talk to teenagers for straight 4 hours without giving them an activity to do. Believe me, they are not listening to you. They are already lost somewhere in between, and they're just there maybe because they are mandated to be there. Who are you talking to? If you're talking to your board members, if it's presentation, what should be in your slide? We're not talking about how to prepare slide, how to prepare your presentation today. That is not the topic for discussion today. So I won't even want to go deep into that. I think sometime later we'll have something on that, deep into that. But what should be in your presentation? What should they relate? What does your board members want to see? What does your stakeholders want to see? If they give you a topic on health, what do they want to see? They want to see the statistics. They want to see the data. So you must have all of that. And don't be so shy that you feel like, oh, they will not engage with the activity. They will engage. It's even as simple as doing a word search and telling them, oh, what's the first word you see? With that, you're going to capture attention of your audience. With that, even when you are in a meeting room, when you are on a training ground, you're going to capture the attention of the people you are talking to. And then check the venue and all technical equipment. If you have a small voice, it's okay to ask them, do you have a mic? So you can prepare ahead. If you ask them like 2 days before or a day before, do you have a mic? It helps you to know if you're going to use a mic or not. If you're someone that you don't have all your knowledge in your head and you need a slide to present, you need to ask them, is there room for projection? I recently went to Nasarawa for a training for students, for secondary school students. And initially, I thought I was going to use slide, and then I was already preparing like videos that would excite the students, and then message, some sort of presentation that will excite the students and how to engage them. So they are seeing something, they are getting engaged. And then the convener for that particular project told me that, oh, there will be no provision for slide for genuine reasons, which of course, those reasons are genuine. We needed to accommodate more students, and where the projector can fit to the option, and to say, okay, I don't have an option. That's like for better cost. And I had to immediately switch what I was planning. All of those presentations, all of those videos, I had to turn everything to paper immediately and how best can I engage the students? And I got there and I did something totally different from what I initially planned to do, that got all the students engaged and got them talking. So those are things you need to be prepared for. Your technical equipment, very, very important. So you are not on stage and you go blank and say, oh, I thought there was room. Never assume when it comes to public speaking. And then you need to dress comfortably before you go. You might want to look so flashy, so fine. Make sure you're wearing comfortable heels in case where they need to take you up to the stage. If you need to climb a stairs before you get on stage, how comfortable are your heels for that stage? So you don't go and fall and embarrass yourself and say you were trying to look so fine for that speaking engagement. So make sure you're dressing comfortable. Your clothes, you need to know the venue in such a way that, is there even an air condition in the space, or will you wear a four-piece suit and you be all sweaty because there is no fan or even air condition for you, and you did not prepare for that. So that's to tell you how important knowing your venue is. And then during your training, these are things you need to know. These are things you need to take note of. You need to engage your audience. I cannot overemphasize this. I've been saying this. You need to engage your audience. Know what to use to engage them. You cannot just be talking, and be rapping. You need to engage them. You need to know what you're using to engage them. You must engage them, and then you need to speak clearly and manage your pace. Some of us are fast talkers. I used to talk very fast. I can read something in a minute. I will be able to read something so fast, and the people I'm talking to will tell me that, what did you say? So you need to know these things. You need to know your pace. You also need to use slides, use visuals where there is provision. Please use them. Never say, I don't need to use them. They say a photo speaks more than 1,000 words. There's a way they say that a picture speaks more than 1,000 words. So imagine you talking about a woman that is crying, or a woman that has not, or a woman that is carrying a baby on her back, and you're just using picture instead of you saying a woman that is carrying a baby on her back. That picture already explains that thing. So also you need to be cautious of your manners and sensitive to your audience. You need to know cultural differences based on who you are talking to. Let's say you are in a room full of presidents, governors, different dignitaries. You cannot come and say, you guys, you girls. That is a room full of dignitaries. You need to be cautious of your manners, even if it's not all the dignitaries. Let's say it's an adult event, women empowerment event. Those are mothers, those are women. So you must know what should you use per time. Then you need to be confident. You need to be confident. Your confidence is contagious. It can be contagious, but once you are jittering, people sense that you are jittering, they might not be interested. Even if you don't have all the knowledge in the world to pour, even if they are more intelligent than you, even if they are your professors, you need to wear confidence. Just stand confidently. Stay confidently, be saying what you're saying confidently, and no matter what you are saying, they will draw their attention to you and they will want to listen to you. And then during the training also, you need to read the room. If you're talking to a live audience, if all your videos were on and you were looking at me, I'll be looking at all your faces. Actually, if I'm talking in a room, I'm talking on stage, I need to be looking at the people I'm talking to. Like, what's their facial expressions? What's the vibe they are giving me? Are they responding? They say you when you are in a room, you must know the response you're getting from that room. Did you say something that went off, and so there's some sort of rowdiness in the room? Can you infuse humor into what you're saying so that you can relax them to some extent? You need to be conscious of these things. And then let's go to after speaking. When you've done your first public speaking, or your second, for those of us that done our first, when you've done the next one you want to do, what do? The reason you will speak and never want to go back on stage to speak is because you did not intentionally receive those feedback to improve on them and become better in what you are doing, in what you are speaking. So you need to encourage questions and answers after speaking. Let people ask you questions and answer them. Thank your audience depending on where you are speaking. Maintain your charisma even when you come down from stage, even when you're done speaking. Maintain your charisma. Do not come down and you just pull your confidence level might drop, and so it just look like, oh, is it this person that just talked to us? The next time you want to speak to those people, you might have become too familiar with them. Then don't condemn or judge yourself. This is so important because this can just make you go back and just want to remain behind the laptop all the days of your life. Even when you make mistakes, when you come down from that stage, when you get home, do not condemn yourself. Do not judge yourself so badly. Learn and take notes of the feedback, take notes of the mistakes, learn from them, practice more, and become better and go for your next engagement. So this is to say that content plus delivery is what makes a good public speaker. It isn't just what you have upstairs. It isn't just what you know. It is what you know plus how you are delivering what you know. That is what makes you a good public speaker. And that's why we have done different delivery techniques. You don't have to be scared. Me, I'm a child of God. Maybe that's why you're seeing a lot of Christian things here. God has not given you spirits to be scared when you're talking to people. God has given you power. That He has given you love. He has given you sound mind. Remember, I will say we should be engaging people. So if God has not given you spirit of fear, my question is, why are you scared? Why are you scared? Why can't you just pray and tell God, please, I have practiced, I have worked, I have researched, I have studied different materials, I have prepared my slides, I know what to do. Please help my confidence. And you go with that confidence. I used to tell myself this, God has not given me spirit of fear. Martha, you cannot be scared. And then because you have a sound mind, which is your intellect, you know what you're saying. And you're saying it with love because, of course, God has given you a spirit of love. Saying it with love with so much grace that people are listening to you and people connect to what you are saying. You're feeling the empathy. People understand your story and people want to buy into whatever you are saying and even take action. So this is my question to you. We're already wrapping up this session. This is my question to you. Just tell me some of the best public speakers you know in the world. Anybody? Some of the best public speakers you know in the world? It might be some that are inspiring you, some that maybe you don't even watch them, but you know that these people, they speak so well. Are the messages coming in? Somebody said Mata Eginiwin. Sonia, thank you. Okay, but are the messages coming in? Rita, you have a question? Okay. Rita, your questions will be answered at the end of the session. At the end of the 2 sessions, all questions will be answered. I've taken notes of your questions. Please remember to keep your questions coming in. After the session, all questions will be answered. Okay, somebody say Pastor Biodun. This person is a COSA member, obviously. Okay, nice. Please keep it coming. Yes, it can be your pastors. It must not be some of the people you've never met or you've never even watched them. You just hear people talking about them or you've seen their books. The best people that influence us most times are people that are close to us, not even people that are so far from us. So you can keep that coming. So there are a lot of public speakers in the world. There are a lot of people that will read their books today that we've never even met them, but we read their books today and we still listen to what they have taught years ago. They are still bestsellers after many years. And that is because they have substance, they have content, they have quality, they know what they are doing, they are evolving, they have not gone out of market. I'll give a case study. I have known Brian Tracy since when I was in like secondary school. And to date, that's still one name I hear. And that's because he has not gone out of markets. He is still evolving, still doing a lot with what he knows. Somebody said Joyce Meyer. Yes, that is amazing. I listened to her too. So I want to tell us a quick story about Nick. Nick, I'm bringing up this story to just for some of us that have made some complaint, feeling why we don't speak is we are not good enough. So Nick is somebody that was born with no limbs. This is how he was born. This picture you are seeing now, this is how he was born. It does not have limbs, and from his that's how he was born. So it's not his fault. He came into the world like that, and when he was born, it took his parents time to even come to agreement with these states that this is the child they have after 9 months, and they are telling you this is the child you have from the 9 months. That's a lot of pain for parents. What can be done? This is a very rare disorder. And they said, oh, nothing can be done. This is rare, this and all of that. And Nick stayed years. If you read the story and read his biography, he said it took him time. At some point, he even attempted to commit suicide because he was bullied. People bullied him. People treated him anyhow, just for the fact that it does not have links. I don't know why my slides are off. I hope you can still hear me. Please, can you hear me? If you can hear me, just say you can hear me. Can you hear me, please? Okay, Tonya can hear me. Okay, I think it's from the technical end. So I'll just go ahead. So Nick was bullied from his teenage age and all, and at some point he said he tried committing suicide, but he did not obviously commit suicide and did not die because he's still living his life and he's one of the best public speakers in the world today. And he is being paid in thousands of dollars to speak at events, at conferences, even went as building his organizations so he can be able to give hope to people. That's life without limbs. So if you check Nick out, you see that some of us that are saying we cannot speak. You have hands, you have legs, you have mouth, you have beauty, you have everything you need. So why are you telling yourself you cannot do it when obviously you can, when obviously you have everything it takes to do it? So if somebody had done it and the person today is worth thousands of dollars to speak at events, my question to you is, why are you limiting yourself? This is him in this same picture talking to thousands of people. This is him and his family also. This is someone that has known that he cannot be limited. So I'm telling you, if you can hear my voice in this session, that you cannot be limited. You cannot have such beautiful voice, such beautiful look, and you are so scared to talk to people. You cannot keep saying you want to be a content creator and you are so scared to even put out your first content. I will be so glad and happy if I see you put out something and say, oh, I want to even teach people public speaking, because you have learned it and you have practiced it. You cannot have so much knowledge. Maybe you know how to bake, you know how to cook, you know how to do one thing or another that people can benefit from. You cannot continue to shy away from doing that thing that you know how to do just because you are scared. You are powerful and you have every single thing you need to speak to anybody you want to speak to. It's just for you to practice and know why you are speaking and know who you are speaking to. So I'm going to give few key takeaways from everything I've said so far. I said, when you are speaking to people, if you want to do public speaking, you need to be able to identify who you are speaking to. You need to research. You cannot pour to people from an empty gong. You cannot give water to people from an empty jar. You need to have what you are giving. You can't give what you don't have. So if you don't have knowledge on a particular topic, it's not you're going to research on that topic, or you're telling them that, oh, this is not my strength. It is not every speaking engagement you must accept. Don't want to be a master of all and you're a master of none and you just flop maybe when they ask you questions. It is not every speaking engagement you must get on. You have the opportunity to research on the topic. There are topics they give me, I know, oh, this is not This is not my strength, but I go to research because I know the essence of research. Besides, AI has come, so there's no topic that you go online and you cannot read on, but you need to be able to pay the price to research. And then you need to contemplate on different methods of presentation. Like I've given different methods. Do you want to use slide? Do you want to do spoken words based on who you are and what your personalities are? You need to be able to establish credibility. So once you enter into a room to speak, your confidence should be able to buy credibility for you. People should not be like, oh, who is this small person? Who is this short person? Who is this overly tall person? Who is this tiny person? No, your confidence should buy you credibility. And when you open your mouth to speak, people should wonder, is it from this person that this is coming out from? And so that is credibility for you. And so you need to rehearse well. Rehearse. You cannot underestimate rehearsal. Never say I know it all. Rehearse every time. Rehearse so well. Even you don't need to have a speaking engagement. Write something, write a speech. You can rehearse how to start introducing yourself. Some of us, if I say unmute and introduce yourself, some of us don't even know how to introduce ourselves confidently. We shy away from introducing ourselves to people. You need to know how to introduce yourself, so you can start from there. You have a camera, you have a mirror in your room. Stand in front of your mirror and introduce yourself. My name is Boluwatife. I do this and this and that with all confidence. My name is Tonya. My name is Judith. You need to be able to do that. And then also, if you don't have a mirror, I used to tell some of my mentees, if you don't have a mirror, turn on your front camera. You have a phone. Turn on your front camera. Just put it somewhere. You don't need to have a stand. And look at it and talk to that phone and learn and listen. When you record, you listen. Don't say, I don't like listening to my voice. Listen to your voice. It's your voice. If you don't like listening to it, people should also not like listening to you. Listen to your voice and know. So rehearsal, it's important. And then when you've rehearsed, when you've done all of this, go and deliver. Do not over prepare and you wake up that morning and you start feeling scared again or want to run away after all your preparations. Go and deliver. And this is from Wayne. It says that it takes 1 hour of preparation for each minute of presentation time. This is from a very known public speaker, taking 1 hour of preparation. So you cannot be new in the game and you say, oh, I can just sleep over it and I will get it done. No, if you're already speaking, please, you need to do more. And if you've not started at all, you need to know that you need to prepare to speak. You need to prepare yourself to be a public speaker. You need to practice. Remember, you can pick a topic and just write on and start presenting it to yourself. I do that. I can just write on a topic and I present it to myself before I got to this point where I could communicate well. If you have the opportunity in your church where you always be in front of people, go and join that sector. If you are in youth organizations, you're in different organizations that puts you in front of people, don't shy away when they say you are to lead something. Don't say, oh, I'm just a new member. Take it upon yourself and do it. And so I leave you with this today. It's also from the Bible, and it says, let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each person. For every presentation you're doing, for every time you are speaking. For me, I like praying. I used to tell God, tell me what you want me to tell these people. Let your speech be gracious. Be a gracious person. Don't be too aggressive that when you're talking to people, you're so aggressive to them. You have to speak graciously, seasoned with salt. That is in such a way that they say salt adds taste. In such a way that what you are saying, you are adding value to the people. You are adding impact. You're informing them. You're persuading them. You are educating them. And so that you know how to answer the questions, you know how to best communicate with the people, and you know how to best set the room at its pace that it's supposed to be. So thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me. Quickly, we're diving into the next session immediately. Please be putting your questions in the chat box. If you have a question, just type it there. We're going to attend to all questions. Type it there, but just in one word, you're going to tell me what you picked from this session so that we know that you're following us. Just tell us in one word what you picked from this session. Thank you, Okon. You are loved also. Tell us in one word what you pick from this session. What are you taking away from this session? While we bring up the second part that talks about how you can master your eye contact, how you can speak confidently. I didn't go deep into speaking confidently because that's the next part that you're going into now. So tell us, what are you taking away from this session? What are you taking to practice? Not even taking away. What are you taking to go and practice? Keep it coming. Keep it coming. Am I seeing messages? Okay. Are the messages coming in? Okay, I think they are still typing, but okay, always tell yourself you can do it. Never shy from speaking. Yes, Sonia, I am glad you are going to be speaking every single time. And remember that for every time you are speaking, there's never a small speaking engagement. Never assume that this is just a small gathering. Always give it your best shot. Give it your best shot. Even if you are talking to 5 people, give it your best shots. Speak like you're talking to an audience of 50,000 people. Always dress well, speak well, stay well, give the right gestures. I didn't go into all of that today because that is a whole lot of session. We're going to stay here up until 12 if we need to go into all of those details of how you need to gesticulate, how you need to stand, how you need to sit, how you need to talk, how you need to look at people. That would be a whole lot. But that's amazing. I'm glad about the feedback I'm getting, and I'm glad you're going to put them to practice. Yes, Rita, your question is noted. Rita, your question will be answered. Your question will be answered as we're going to take all the questions together. So don't worry, Rita. Your question is already noted. It will be answered. We're not going to miss it. All right, so you can keep it, you can keep your thoughts coming in. So let's go quickly into the second part of today's session. And I welcome to go into that session Gabriel, my colleague Gabriel, to go into that session with you. You can keep your thoughts coming, and thank you for all of the feedback. Gabriel, you have the floor, you have the mic, you have the stage.
Okay, thank you very much, Martha. That was super amazing and excellent. I was listening and I took some notes because some of the things you addressed just in the last few minutes were things that I am also going to emphasize more on, right? So when I get there, I'm going to just pitch in to like just speak about some of those terms and some of those insights that you dropped during your session. So it was really insightful and it was really having a very great synergy, right, with my own particular session. So thank you very much. Thank you everyone for being on the call. It takes a lot to actually stay till this time, so we don't take your time for granted. We're going to make this second part as fast as possible so we can be done. Okay, so I'm going to be handling effective communication and eye contact. These are the two aspects that I'm going to be discussing and sharing with us in the next couple of minutes. But I would like to tell you about myself. I'm Gabriel Onyebuolise, and I'm an innovation and communications professional. And the work that I do is simply centered around solving challenging problems for organizations. And most of the organizations I engage with are usually NGOs and social enterprises. And I've worked in sectors to solve problems around education, climate change, and public health. These are the areas I'm very passionate about. But regardless, I work in the sector that's the sustainable development goals. So any of those goals around that area, I usually want to delve into and explore solving problems in that area. So briefly, I would be talking to us about effective communication. So Martha have done great justice to the part where she had to talk about public speaking, you speaking to a live audience, what you need to be doing when you're speaking to a live audience. Now, how do you communicate? What makes your communication, what you're speaking, what you're engaging with the live audience, what makes it super effective? How do you pass that message? Now, I would begin with this, that um communication, right? Improving your communication skills can benefit your career, your education, and your personal life. Now, imagine life without communication. Nothing in life starts without communication. All ideas that are explosive today, all ideas that are working, everything that is thriving today, look at Apple, look at Google, look at Tesla. Everything working today began by communication. Someone had that idea, shared it with someone else, took that person to their frequency of thought, and they began to replicate that idea. Now, can you ask yourself this question? What did Adolf Hitler tell the Nazi people, the Nazis, before they were able to kill over 6 million Jews? 6 million. We're talking about them setting up a killing infrastructure to really eliminate people. What did he really tell them? So you see that ideas are passed from communication. So communication is powerful. So anytime you open up your mouth to speak or you pick up a pen to write, know that you are communicating something. You're passing on an idea, you're passing on an information, right? You're giving power to someone else. Okay, so it's important to know that this is very key, and it's important, and it can improve your career, your education, and your personal life. So communication is very key and important. Now, what happens in communication? When you're communicating, like I mentioned, you're exchanging ideas. You're either exchanging an idea, you're sharing a thought, or you're expressing an opinion, or you're sharing knowledge, or even giving out data. For example, you when you're talking about, Martha was mentioning about talking in the health sector, you should be communicating data at that particular point in time because people want to see data. You're speaking in terms of education, the education sector, you have to speak with data. So at any point in time when you're communicating something, you're either sharing an idea, a thought, opinion, knowledge, or data. So these are the parameters that happen in the sequence of communication. Now, for communication to be effective, you must understand that it requires it to be clear and complete. Clear and complete. So when you talk about clarity, most times we try to achieve, when we talk about clarity, so most times we try to achieve, right, we achieve clarity, but we do not achieve completeness. So I will give this example. A colleague comes and says, I have headache. The information is I have headache, but what is the call to action? The call to action is what completes that statement. What do you want from your colleague? Do you want your colleague to give you a drug? Do you want your colleague to just comfort you with words? Do you want your colleague to just give you some space to recover? Okay, so you need to complete your sentence with a call to action. What do you want your audience to engage? So always have that in mind when you're communicating. Must be clear and complete. And other things that we're going to talk about in for effective communication is clarity, empathy, and understanding. clarity, empathy, and understanding. So when you're talking about clarity, you're looking at the choice of words. What words are you going to be using? If you're speaking, and the choice of words, it's always dependent on your audience. What your audience level, the nature of your audience that you are addressing and you're speaking with, right? If your audience are professionals, then you should be using technical terms. You should be using professional terms simply because they will understand it. But if your audience are really like a general public, then you have to simplify your words as much as possible. Then when you speak about empathy, empathy helps you to put yourself in the shoes of your audience to actually understand how they view things, how they see it. So a typical example is when elderly people, right, are actually speaking to the younger generation, and there are two versions that usually happen in that kind of scenario. So we have the ones who would come being judgmental, right, who will come just trying to say what you're doing is wrong, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do this. And most times you find out that young people tend not to listen so well, in quotes, to such kind of communication. But then we have those who would show up and begin to speak to those same set of young people, that same audience, and they are speaking and saying, I understand how you feel. I have been in your shoes. I've walked through this part, right? So simply because what it means is you're connecting with the audience. You're trying to get down to the level of your audience, right? Or the listener, and trying to move them on a journey to the level where you want them to be. So it's all communication is this particular frequency. So you're at a particular frequency, and your goal as the communicator, right, is to move your audience from the level, the frequency where they are, to the frequency where you want them to be, your own frequency, right? So that's the job that you're trying to do. And empathy plays a crucial role in helping you position yourself in their frequency and gradually move them through that journey to the frequency where you want them to be, so they can take the action you want them to take. Another aspect is understanding. So when you talk about understanding, everybody can hear, but not everybody understands. So understanding can come as a result of perspective. Understanding can come as a result of people's foundation. So you might be speaking something different, saying something else, and someone is understanding something entirely different. So you need to always ask for feedback. What do you understand from what I have shared with you? If it's same as what's the implied meaning, what you just communicated, then you're good to go. So why is effective communication important? So even in the revenue for companies, we see that from a research, according to one study, companies in the United States and the UK were surveyed, and these companies have employee number over 100,000. They lost 62.4 million in a year due to poor communication. So poor communication affected their figures. And on the flip side, right, companies who communicate effectively had nearly 50% higher total returns to shareholders over companies with less effective communicators at the helm. So you see how important communication can be, right? So it's even influencing the figures. Communication, because communication is the bedrock of every idea. Communication is the bedrock of every project. As we proceed, we're going to speak more about that. But before I proceed to speak, talking about body language, I just want to also emphasize, like tell you how important communication is. If you look at politics today, if you look at the world today, what powers the world? What's controlling eventually everything? It's communication. Okay, communication is eventually powering every single thing. To tell you how powerful communication is, the our president, immediately he got into power, he made a statement, and he wasn't even yet to implement it, just a statement immediately about the fuel subsidy, and immediately changes began to happen. So you see how powerful communication is, whether you're speaking or you're writing it. So it can influence a whole lot. It can affect almost everything that's working perfectly. So it can disrupt as well as it can fix a whole lot if you do it right, if you communicate positively, which I believe most of us on this call would want to impart and communicate positively. So What you need to do in public speaking, you have to say it with your body. Say it with your body. So you're not just speaking, your body is speaking alongside with your tone of voice. So if we check out what I have here, 55% is non-verbal, right? What you're communicating. 55% is non-verbal. 38% talks about the vocal, that's the tone and inflection. Then 7% only involve the word. So it means that from here up to 93% of communication, right, does not even involve what you're saying. So how you're saying it, everything all encompassing. So it's a holistic approach. The words you're saying, your tone, your body language, everything works together in synergy. So you need to master all of this in order to become super effective. Now, I moved to the part where Martha was emphasizing and talking about confidence. And then she made a statement. She says that excuses come up when you're not prepared. So she was giving an instant stating that they call you up to speak and you begin to give excuses. That excuse is coming up because you're not prepared, right? Why would they call you up at any point in time and you do not have something to share? I do not believe that. Just like she said again, I would like to emphasize you have something to offer. That should always be your disposition. That should always be your mindset. I have something to offer. So never a time should they call you up, even impromptu, say something, and you see you do not have something to say. You always have something to say. And how you're going to have something to say is to have the attitude of living ready. You have to live ready, right? I learned this from primary school when I was in Scouts. And the motto in Scout, which is we usually refer now to as tagline, is be prepared. So at every point in time, you have to always be prepared, because living ready and being prepared would help you to speak confidently. Confidence is powerful. Confidence is super powerful. Never underestimate the power of confidence. Confidence can transform, take you from the bottom level of your career to a higher level than you can even imagine at a very short time, simply because you have confidence. Haven't you seen people, right, doing things in your sector, and when you look at the work they do, you know you can do it. You believe you can do it. You believe you can even do better. But why are you not putting yourself out there? Maybe because you're not confident enough. So building your confidence level, and your confidence can transform your life forever. So confidence is super important in life and in communication. So what can power your confidence is preparation. Preparation powers your confidence, and belief solidifies it. So most times, even after preparing, most of us do not really believe what we want to say or what we want to speak. You must believe it. What happens about the different religions that exist today on earth? What powers it is belief, because people really believe it. There is a God, and that's the reason they are able to speak it. That's the reason they are able to share it with other people, because they believe. When you believe, you're more confident. So as you prepare, right, it powers up your confidence. Then when you believe, there is a solidity. Belief is the rock, right? Belief is like you building your house on a rock, building your preparation and confidence on a rock. So it solidifies it. So you need to prepare, and you need to believe in whatever idea you're going to share, whatever business you have, whatever project you have. What are you working on? Even as an employee, do you really believe in the company you work with? Your own personal project, do you really believe? Okay. So it's very, very important. So how do you actually live ready? How do you prepare? Right, during your preparation, you want to really be excellent. You want to boost your confidence. Now, this is the simple steps for you to boost that confidence. Martha mentioned and emphasized about research. We cannot overemphasize the importance of research in every sector, and it also applies in public speaking. You have to research. You have to understand your field. You have to know, what is it that I'm going to be teaching on? What am I teaching on? Why am I teaching this? Who am I speaking to? Who am I speaking to? Who is the audience? So it's important for you to actually understand all of this and research extensively. You're going even beyond the space where you're working at. So you're just exploring every sector. So research is about exploring. You're checking what have people done in this sector. So research actually would help you to understand, gain more insight, and you begin to put your thoughts together. Now, when you're putting your thoughts together, it moves you to the step of downloading. So you're taking advantage of the information at your disposal. What information were you able to find in the process of your research? So that information, you're taking advantage of it and you're taking a position. How do I leverage this? How does this apply to this? How do I apply it to whatever I'm going to be doing, whatever I'm going to be delivering to people? This is what makes you different. This is what makes you stand out, because you begin to take those research and you begin to personalize them, and not just personalize them, you begin to see how it has worked for you over the years, and you begin to relate them with your own personal experience. So when you're done with that, you begin to strategize, you begin to plan. I mentioned that the goal of the communicator is to take his audience from the frequency where they are to his own frequency. So you strategize, how am I going to do that? How am I going to walk my audience through that journey so they are able to understand what I'm saying? I go to their level and I begin to move gradually onto the frequency where I want them to hit, right? And once you're able to strategize that, you unleash. This is the part that most of us fail to engage in. We fail to actually engage. We fail to actually execute our plans, right? So our strategy is the plan. So execute your plan, do your plan. It's important. Unleash, right? And learn from the process. Unleash and learn from the process over and over and over again. And when you begin to repeat this over and over again, this is how you gain mastery, and this is how you advance your public speaking as well as advance your life. Now, why are we emphasizing on public speaking? You might begin to wonder. You might feel public speaking is for selected set of people. There is a particular people who should be public speakers. But I put it to you that as long as you're human, public speaking is a vital skill. Public speaking is a vital skill. You're communicating every day. You're seeing people, you're relating with people. So public speaking is a vital skill. That stage of your career where you want to move to, you're looking for a job, you want to set up your own business, you're going to communicate. You're going to send your CV. If you're going to be sending a job, that's written communication. You're also going to be sitting in front of your potential recruiter or your potential employer. You have to speak. How are you speaking? Are you confident enough? Right? So it's important. Even if you're doing your own business, you have to speak with stakeholders. You have to speak with your customers. You have to engage when you begin to set up your board of directors. How do you convince people to move and run with your goal? Because it takes a lot to actually get to engage people running with your vision. What do you tell them? How are you communicating that vision? So it's important you find out that public speaking is a basic essential skill for every individual on earth as long as you're still breathing. So public speaking is non-negotiable, right? So I will move to talking about eye contact. Why is eye contact important in communication, and how you engage in eye contact? So making eye contact while public speaking is a simple yet powerful way to connect with your audience, right? So it can help you move someone who is not even engaging, who is passive, a passive listener. Simply by maintaining eye contact with them, you're able to draw their attention back, because eyes brings a connection, right? I know that there's a saying that says the eyes is the window of the soul. So once you have that eye contact, is really, really powerful. You can turn your passive listener into an active listener. So how do you use some useful tips for eye contact? Before you speak, pause and connect. So you're walking up on stage. When you get up on that stage, don't just walk up the stage and start speaking. When you walk up on that stage, take a stance, right? Ensure you're standing comfortably. Ensure you're comfortable where you're standing. Look straight to the audience, because at that point, your name have been mentioned. All the focus in the next 30 seconds, people are waiting for the speaker. So at that point, that's the highest attention you can get. That's the time to grab the attention. So maintain that same energy, that same eye contact. They are looking forward. Who is the speaker? Who is the speaker? And if all eyes is just on the stage, so immediately you walk up, stand, take a comfortable position, look directly into the audience for a few seconds without pause to connect back with them, because all eyes are on you. And then before you begin to speak, pick one person at a time and maintain eye contact 3 to 5 seconds. So at every point in time, you have an audience, you have a crowd. Keep maintaining eye contact from one person to the other. Just pick one person, maintain that eye contact 3 to 5 seconds. Why 3 to 5 seconds? Because in 3 to 5 seconds, you're going to find out you are able to complete a sentence within 3 to 5 seconds. So at every gaze, you're completing one sentence. Move to someone else's eyes. Just keep maintaining that eye contact. You're going to find out that over time, you're going to just engage your audience. There's this energy that is just going to flow all through the process of your speech or your conversation with your audience. Now, notice where your eyes are at the end of your sentences. I mentioned you have to complete a sentence at every eye gaze. So you have to learn and practice that. The next point you have to do is practice, practice, practice. So practice. And who do you practice with most times? Your friends, right? Someone you're comfortable to look at, right? Straight in the eye. Your siblings. So practice with those kind of people. You're comfortable. You look at them like you're engaging, speaking to them. Eye contact is really, really powerful and important. So practice it, because without eye contact, it communicates everything negative. So once you're looking away, you're looking down, you're looking sideways, you're looking upward, it's communicating shyness, which isn't good, right? It's communicating not being prepared, right? It's communicating fear. It's communicating you're hiding something, and people might even think you're lying, right? So all of random, you not maintaining eye contact sends a lot of negative and wrong signals to the person you're speaking with. So if it's really true and you really believe what you're saying, you would naturally maintain eye contact. That's just how it feels. So if you're not maintaining eye contact, there's usually a problem with that. Then know when to break the rules. For example, you're speaking with our mommies and daddies. When the eye gaze is too much, they might see that as disrespect. Okay, so you have to know how to do that. Once now, even if you're engaging one-on-one with someone, you look through, take a pause a bit. Just when you're speaking, take that pause, right? But just maintain eye contact from time to time, not just a straight gaze. A straight gaze might look awkward, right, at some point in time. So it's not really a straight gaze all through, but you have to just maintain that gaze from time to time. Now, what's good about eye contact? A good eye contact communicates confidence. So it communicates confidence. It means you're confident in what you're saying, and what's once you're confident, you're showing confidence, right? It means what you're saying is true, and you actually believe in what you're saying. And because you believe in what you're saying, it's easier for you to transfer same energy to your listener, because it's an energy. It's a frequency. Okay. So you're trying to transfer that same energy that you have from yourself to your listener. That's your goal. So anytime you're speaking to someone, know that you're about to transfer something. You're transferring an idea. You're communicating something. That's the reason anytime you open your mouth to speak, you must speak value. You must learn to speak value anytime you want to speak. That is super, super important. I like the line where Martha mentioned the fact that your confidence should buy you credibility. So your audience might not know you. They've never seen you. They've never met you anywhere. The only way you can buy credibility is your confidence. So people show up, they don't know you. And that's a good advantage, right? The fact that they don't know you. So you have an opportunity to make an impression. So don't ruin it. The only way you get to buy that credibility fast as possible in the next few seconds or minutes is to be confident. You must be confident. You must believe in what you're saying. You must believe in what you're selling. If you're doing business, you must believe in the organization where you're working. You must believe in your goals. You must believe in what you're doing as an individual. So as young people, it's important for us to be where we believe, where we trust that we should be. So once you believe it, why can't you communicate it? It's so funny and weird that the people who are bold and putting themselves out there and communicating things are the people who are mostly doing the negative stuff. Look at the people who are sharing and their opinions on social media. Go to comment sections, you see really horrible comments. They are very bold. But we, right, who want to really making part. We're scared to even put out a comment. We don't even want to comment. We're only just liking. People are commenting. People are building ideologies. Ideologies are being set from those statements. So it's important that we learn how to communicate, both in writing and in oral. We must learn how to express ourselves. It's important, right? So once you know, you have an idea, you have a belief, you're sure it's working for you, you've seen it work for people over time, then why not share it? So you should be bold and confident enough to share it. So I ask you tonight, what will success look like for you? Okay, what will success look like for you? So let me know if you can still hear me. What would success look like for you if you're being asked in your career today, in your business, if you're still in school, in your schooling? What would success look like for you? What would it look like for you if you're looking at success? If you want to measure your success, right? What would it look like for you? So now imagine having the confidence to share your ideas and thriving in your career. Imagine having that confidence. Imagine being confident enough. Now, even you as an employee, what gives you value before your boss is the fact that you're sharing ideas. If you want to try test run it in 1 month and come back, give me the feedback, how your boss is going to view you. When you're sharing ideas, you're bringing input into the company. It means you're putting thoughts into your work. You're putting thought into your work. Your boss is obviously going to love you more than your other colleagues, not because you're doing anything magical, but because you're sharing ideas. You're beginning to share your perspective and ask questions, right? So it's important you learn to communicate. You have a job description, a job role. There's a pattern. You've been working that pattern over and over again, and you find like something you can add to make it amazing. Why are you scared not to share? So you should share. You should share with your boss and ask your boss, can we try this? And once he gives you the opportunity to try it, you never can tell how far that can take you. So you never can know what would take you far. So always share your ideas. So imagine having that confidence, because most times it's the fear. We're scared of the unknown. What if I share this and my boss doesn't accept it? So what? It changes nothing. He doesn't accept it. Move on, share another one. You understand? So what if you have that confidence? Would you like to have such confidence? Let me know in the comment section. I would like to know if we are still here and you can hear me and you're engaging. I know we're streaming from a software, so it usually takes some lag before you get to hear what I'm saying, but I'll be waiting patiently to see your chat. So imagine having the confidence to share. Would you like this kind of confidence? If you want this confidence, just type in the comment section, say confidence in the comment section. Let me know that you can hear me still and you're still engaging right here. Okay. So I can see that. I'll be waiting. I know it takes quite like a little bit of lag before it gets to YouTube. Just type in confidence. Yes, I can see that. Confidence. Confidence. Amazing. Amazing. So that is what it is. You really need confidence to show up. You need confidence to speak, right? You need confidence. Always build that confidence. And so while you're building that confidence, what if at the same time you're inspiring people around you and creating the change you've always wanted? You've always wanted a change. Everybody wants that change. Everybody wants that growth. I like this. Confidently confident. Everybody wants to inspire people around them. You want to create the change that you've always wanted, right? Everybody wants it. And you also want to experience a career shift because you are more intentional and you communicate clearly. So you've seen two things that you're going to do differently, being more intentional and you're communicating clearly. So that's the reason we're taking this class further, right? By taking us to unlocking the power of your voice. How do you speak? So in the next class is going to be really super practical. We're focusing more on building your confidence, right? So we're going to build your confidence to be able to speak, to be able to maintain eye contact, to be able to share your ideas, to be able to build yourself to the point that people want to listen to you. When people listen to you, they will always come back with a positive feedback to say, I'm glad I listened to you, even if it's for 30 seconds. People are always excited to listen to you because you have a value to share. So what we want to do is to help you maximize the power of your voice and confidently scale your career growth exponentially, whether you're an entrepreneur or you're working as an employee. So we want to help you using the power of your voice, making you more confident in everything you do. And that's what we want to try to achieve for you. And that's what we'll be doing in our next webinar coming up on the 30th of November 2023. It's on a Thursday like this, same time, 8 p.m. All right. We'll be sharing for only those who register, and we're going to be having a commitment fee for that particular webinar, for that training. It's a commitment fee of 5,000 naira only. Now, the reason we're putting that commitment fee is because we want to we want people who would really put in the work. We do not want you to show up and not put in the work. So we believe that you having to pay that commitment fee of 5,000 naira would instill, right? Instill that awareness, instill that consciousness for you to actually take the program seriously, because we want to commit our time to actually work together and see how we can build your confidence and help you scale your career growth. So if you're ready to scale your career growth, if you're ready to move up higher, you're ready to, share your ideas, you're ready to launch yourself out there, which I believe most of us are, then you should go to the link, right? bit.ly/overcoming series, or small letters, bit.ly/overcoming series, and you just be able to register and make your payments easily, and we would further communicate with you via email. I'm looking forward to seeing you, right? I'm looking forward to our registrations. We're still going to be promoting this, and we're still going to be engaging with you, and we're still going to have even more sessions, more and more sessions. We're looking forward to having more sessions that would help enrich and empower young people to stand out, right? So we look forward to see you winning, and thank you very much tonight. We know we took more than the time that we actually planned for this, but I really appreciate your time for being here. Thank you very much for spending this time with us. We really, really value the fact that you're here. We do not take it for granted, and I'm sure you gained value. So please let me know if this entire webinar and this entire training was valuable, something you learned, something that was really remarkable, either from Martha's session or from mine. So just drop that in the comment section and we would wrap up. So I would bring Martha up on stage as well.
Thank you, Gabriel. That was amazing. I don't know. I should be seeing amazing in the chat boxes, but like Gabriel said, I think the delay of getting your messages take quite some time before we get to see them. But that was amazing. I like the part where you talked about confidence more, all the emphasis on confidence, how you can just you can just get into a room. I like the analysis you gave, Gabriel, actually, where you said you can get into a room and you can just the boldness alone and the confidence, even if you don't have so much to say, people will listen to you and you become the most intelligent person in the room. That was amazing. Please drop your tell us your feedback, tell us your what you got from these sessions. We didn't just want people to come here and it's just another webinar. This is not just another webinar. This is a webinar where we want to change something in your life. We want this to be an encounter. So this is an encounter, and this is just the first encounter. Gabriel has told us about unlock the power of your voice. A very beautiful thing about this unlock the power of your voice that's coming up is how we are even going to unload some people, selected few. We've not thought about how we are going to select those people. And even after that particular training, for some days, we're going to unload you with the assignment to give and everything. We're going to unload you and ensure that you are able to practice what you learn from us. So it is not just another webinar. We want something to change. So if you're willing to change something in your life, if you really want to change something in how you talk to people this year, don't say the year has gone. The year has not gone. The year is still, we still have more than 4 weeks. It's a lot to change a lot. 4 weeks, over 4 weeks is a lot to change a lot. So please register for that. Then somebody asked the question earlier. Rita, right? Rita asked the question earlier that how did you work on your speech pace? Rita, I guess that's your question. I don't know if she's still here. Um, how did you work on your speech pace? Okay. So I'm going to answer from my end. Then I'll just get Gabriel to throw light on how he managed, for how he was able to work on his own. So for me, I used to be a very fast talker. I can talk, I can rap, like I can just talk very fast. So when people when people gives me feedback, I don't just let that feedback slide. I started working on it. So when I'm reading something to myself, I record it and know, oh, how fast did I go? Did I read this thing in 1 minute? Okay, let me try again. Can it now be 2 minutes? And also, when I'm talking to people, I became very, very conscious of it. Like if I'm giving a presentation, if I know I'm going too fast, I have to call myself to order immediately. Another thing is I started using my friends, my colleagues. So if I'm going for a conference and I'm there with a friend, I will be like, did I talk too fast today? Was it better today? So I was always open to feedback. I was always practicing. I was always reading materials to myself and recording. If I use 1 minute this time, I want to use 1 minute 30 seconds the next one I'm recording, so that we know that I'm not too fast. And little, it does not go one off, it does not go just at once. It takes time. So little by little, you start making progress. Me, I'm still making progress. I still talk very fast. I want to it's let me not say let me not say the people I want to be speaking like really very fast, but but yeah, that's how I worked on my own. Gabriel, if you can just tell us how you worked on yours.
Okay, I'm laughing because I'm still working on mine, right? I speak really fast. But apologies, I know I spoke very fast tonight. Reason being, I wanted to catch up with time. I know we were already far behind the time. So hopefully next time when I'm communicating, once there's time, I'm going to really slow down. I have to just rush everything through because of time's sake. So I'm still working on mine. I just try to be as conscious as possible, just
So
like Martha said.
how are you working on it? You've not answered that
Yeah,
question, so you just give her tips.
yeah, that's
Rita,
what I
I
want to
hope I have
say.
answered your question. Please let us know if we answered your question.
I say I ask the audience if I'm fast. So I ask my audience, are you catching up with my pace? So they give me feedback, then I know whether to slow down or continue with that pace. Yeah.
Okay. So Rita, we hope we answered your question and we hope some of those tips help you. Remember, it is not a one-off. You don't just stop talking fast at once. You will continue to talk fast, but you need to put trackers. Who are the people monitoring you? What is monitoring you? All right. So please. Okay, so what do you have another question? Uche, you could have another question, Gabriel. What are persons that don't speak fast but really slow?
Hmm. Okay. For those who speak really slow, so that's really quite I don't know. It can really bore your audience. So I think you have to work on your pace, right, to actually try to speed it up a bit. But then regardless, right, sometimes depending on the value you're sharing, I would say. So you really need to have knowledge and value. So if you're sharing real knowledge and value, even if you're slow, people would be patient to listen because they know you have value. You understand? So I will give you an example of Baba Adeboye, right? He speaks slowly, but because we've seen results, right? We've seen the values he has, we've seen the results he has achieved. So we really do not care anymore if it's slow or not. We're patient to listen. Okay, so have value. That's what's most important. Then begin to work on it. If from the several occasions you're speaking to your audience and they have come back with a feedback and say you're rather too slow, then you have to increase the pace. Okay, so it's based on the feedback that you get. If the feedback says increase the pace, then you should work on the pace. Okay, but I think, right, for a good speech, you need to actually be on a moderate kind of speed, not too fast and not too slow, because too slow can actually, make there's a high tendency to bore your listeners and they can zone out easily. So you need to, follow like energy. It's energy. You're trying to transmit energy, like I mentioned. So that energy needs to have some, force and life added to it.
Okay. Thank you, Gabriel. And to that, I will also bring in the place of practice. Today, if you don't remember anything from this training, just remember that whatever you are doing when it comes to public speaking, communication, building your confidence, it's practice. You must don't say, "Oh, I want to be like Vusi," and you're not practicing. How do you want to be like him? You must practice. So if you're in the position where you speak really slow, in addition to what Gabriel said, I will encourage you practice what you're saying. If something that is not very long, you record it and it takes you three minutes for you to be able to read that whole thing through, that means there's a problem. You can practice and know how you can take it to 2 minutes, from there 1 minute 30 seconds, and when you do that over and over again, you start seeing that it becomes much better. And another thing also is your energy. Once you pump up your energy, sometimes you experience that you start talking fast once your energy is high. So for every time you are speaking, be on your best energy. Whether you're talking to children, be on your best energy, and it can help. We hope that answers your question and that helps. Okay. Do we have other questions, please? If you have other questions, you can just drop in. Rita, we hope we answered your question and our tips can help. Then please tell us how this session was for you. Just tell us how this session was for you. Okay, someone said this session has truly been remarkable, invaluable, and amazing. Thank you so much, Martha and Gabriel. Oh, it's our pleasure. Thank you so much for that feedback. And please let us know how it went for you. Okay, guided arrows. As much as I'm tempted to say, please tell us your name. Okay, guided arrows said it is valuable. Thank you, guided arrows. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please remember to stay glued to your email. We're also going to yes, Mr. Gabriel came to school us with confidence, brimming, oozing like he's a confident person. Yeah, that was amazing. Actually, I agree with you. Remember to stay glued to your emails. We'll still be sending us emails. This registration is still on up until 29th. When, Gabriel? 28th, 29th? When are we closing? So actually, for this particular training, slots are actually limited. Gabriel forgot to say that slots are limited. We have limited slots because we really want it to be practical, and we just want like few people we can handle individually and provide solutions to what their problems is. So we want to hear your problem and be able to provide solution in that particular class. Okay, please keep your feedback coming in. Thank you all so much for joining today's session. If you have other questions, please, you can always ask us. You can we sent emails to you via Gmail. There's a Gmail account we also use. You can ask us questions there. You can follow us on social media. If you have questions, do not hesitate to ask. Overcoming is actually a community of people, a community of young people. And what we aim to do is to help you grow personally, professionally, and economically. So these three things together, we understand, is what will make you thrive. We have a community also. Our community is also like on WhatsApp. We have social media platforms where we are functioning. We have newsletters coming up for you. We have a lot coming up for you. So we encourage you too to be part of the community, and believe us, this is not preaching, but believe us, it's definitely going to be an encounter, and the opportunities, everything you get there, you cannot remain the same. So if you do not want to remain the same, overcoming is for you. Together, all of us can overcome. So if we don't have anything again, I trust that brings us to the end of today's session, except I'm missing anything, Gabriel, am I?
No, not at all. I think we're good.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us today. See you at our next session. We have webinars monthly, like monthly, there are webinars coming up. And please, if you have questions, if you have other questions, maybe your questions coming later, kindly send a message across. Thank you for coming and joining us today. Remember to tell a friend what you experienced here today. Tell somebody so that they don't miss out. And remember to teach somebody. The more you teach people what you know, the more you know that thing, and the more you want to learn more about it. So thank you, and enjoy the rest of your night. Bye.